What if I told you that a college dropout with a 1.8 GPA would eventually teach at the same university that kicked him out? What if I told you this failure would go on to revolutionize how millions of students learn, making more money than most professors will see in their lifetime? This isn't another feel-good story. This is the raw, unfiltered truth about Alex Chen, a student who was told he was academically hopeless and would never amount to anything. But what happened next will shatter everything you believe about grades, intelligence, and what it really takes to succeed in life. By the end of this video, you'll discover the secret system that turned Alex from academic disaster to educational genius. And here's the crazy part. This same system is being used right now by thousands of students to completely transform their results. But most students will never hear about it because it goes against everything the education system wants you to believe. So if you're tired of feeling like you're not smart enough, not good enough, or that you'll never measure up to the smart kids, this story will either change everything for you, or you'll dismiss it and wonder why nothing ever changes. Your choice. Let me take you back to September 2019. Alex Chen is sitting in his dorm room at UCLA, staring at his laptop screen. It's 3 a.m., and he's surrounded by empty energy drink cans and crumpled papers. His midterm results just came in F, D+, F, C-. His roommates are already asleep, dreaming about their bright futures in medicine, law, and engineering. Alex? He's calculating whether he can even pass his classes, let alone graduate. But here's what makes Alex different from every other struggling student. Alex wasn't struggling because he wasn't smart. He had been accepted to UCLA after all. He wasn't struggling because he didn't care. He was spending 12+ hours a day studying. Alex was struggling because he had bought into the biggest lie the education system tells students, that there's only one way to learn. And if that way doesn't work for you, you're just not cut out for academic success. You see, Alex's mind worked differently. While his classmates could memorize textbooks and regurgitate information perfectly, Alex's brain craved understanding. He needed to know why things worked, not just what to memorize. And the traditional education system, it punished him for that. Every professor told him the same thing. Just memorize it. You don't need to understand every detail. Every study group made him feel stupid because he couldn't just accept information without questioning it. Every exam made him feel like a failure because he couldn't perform under the pressure of timed, memorization-based testing. That night, staring at those grades, Alex made a decision that would either save his future or destroy it completely. He decided to stop playing by their rules and start creating his own. But first, let me tell you about the moment that changed everything. The next morning, Alex walked into his physics professor's office. Dr. Martinez had just handed back another failed exam, Alex's third F in a row. Instead of asking for extra credit or begging for mercy like most students, Alex asked a question that stunned his professor. Dr. Martinez, can you explain why this formula works the way it does? Not just how to use it, but why it exists. Dr. Martinez paused. In 15 years of teaching, no student had ever asked him that question. For the next 2 hours, they dove deep into the fundamental principles behind the physics concepts. And something magical happened. Alex didn't just understand the material. He could apply it in ways that amazed even his professor. That's when Dr. Martinez said something that changed Alex's life. Alex, you don't have a learning disability. You have a learning superability. You're not failing because you can't learn. You're failing because you're trying to learn a system that wasn't designed for minds like yours. That conversation sparked what Alex now calls the Great Experiment. Instead of trying to fit into the traditional study methods, Alex decided to completely reverse engineer his learning process. Here's what he discovered. Most students study by trying to memorize information. Alex realized that his brain needed to build connections and understand systems. So instead of reading textbooks linearly, Alex created what he called connection maps, visual representations that showed how every concept related to every other concept. Most students cram for exams. Alex realized his brain needed time to process and integrate information, so he developed spiral learning, studying the same topic in short bursts over weeks, each time going deeper and making new connections. Most students studied alone or in groups where everyone used the same methods. Alex realized he needed to teach others to truly understand material himself. So he started recording himself explaining concepts as if he was teaching class, then watching his own videos to find gaps in his understanding. The results were immediate and dramatic. His next physics exam, A-. His calculus midterm, B+. His chemistry final, A. But more importantly, Alex discovered something that would change not just his life, but the lives of thousands of other students. By the end of his sophomore year, Alex had completely turned around his grades. But he noticed something interesting. Other struggling students started asking him for help. And when he shared his methods, they worked for them too. That's when Alex realized he had stumbled onto something bigger than just personal success. He had discovered learning principles that worked for minds that didn't fit the traditional mold. Alex started a small study group using his methods. 6 students. All of them had been struggling. Within one semester, their average GPA increased by 1.4 points. Word spread. By junior year, Alex was unofficially tutoring 30-plus students. By senior year, he had created an online course sharing his learning system. The course exploded. 500 students in the first month, 2,000 by the end of the year. But here's where the story gets really interesting. Remember Dr. Martinez, the physics professor who first recognized Alex's potential? He approached Alex with an opportunity that would change everything. Dr. Martinez said, "Alex, I've been watching what you built. Your students are outperforming my traditional students. Would you be interested in co-teaching a section of my course next semester?" Alex, still technically a student, was being asked to teach at the university level. But he didn't stop there. Alex realized that his learning system could be scaled beyond just UCLA. He started creating online content, sharing his methods with students worldwide. His YouTube channel exploded from 100 subscribers to 100,000 in 6 months. His online courses went from serving hundreds to serving thousands. But the real breakthrough came when educational institutions started paying attention. Harvard reached out. MIT wanted to collaborate. Stanford offered him a research position. The same educational establishment that had labeled students like Alex as failures was now begging to learn from him. By age 23, still a student himself, Alex had built a multi-million-dollar educational company. He was being invited to speak at conferences worldwide. Universities were paying him consulting fees to improve their teaching methods. But the most satisfying moment? When UCLA offered him a position as a lecturer in their education department, the same university where he had once failed so spectacularly. Alex's response? "I'll take the position on one condition. I get to redesign the curriculum to actually serve students who learn differently." Today, Alex's learning methods are used by over 50,000 students worldwide. His company generates millions in revenue annually. He's been featured in Forbes, Harvard Business Review, and TED Talks. But most importantly, he's proven that there's no such thing as a bad student, only bad systems. Now, here's what Alex discovered that changes everything for students like you. Alex identified what he calls the 3 learning myths that destroy student potential. Myth 1. Smart students get good grades. The truth? Grades measure your ability to conform to a specific testing system, not your intelligence or potential. Alex's research showed that many of the most innovative thinkers in history were poor students using traditional metrics. Myth 2. You must study the same way as everyone else. The truth? Your brain is unique, and it requires a unique approach. Alex discovered there are 7 different learning styles, and most students are trying to force themselves into just 2 of them. Myth 3. Struggling means you're not cut out for academic success. The truth? Struggling means you haven't found your optimal learning system yet. Once Alex found his system, he didn't just succeed, he excelled beyond what anyone thought possible. But here's the part that might make you uncomfortable. Alex's system isn't magic. It's not some secret hack. It's actually based on decades of neuroscience research that most schools completely ignore. The principles Alex discovered are available to anyone willing to challenge conventional thinking about learning. Right now, as you're watching this, you have access to more learning resources than any generation in history. You have the internet online courses, YouTube videos, digital tools that Alex could barely dream of when he started. So, why do so many students still struggle? Why do so many brilliant minds get labeled as average or failures? Because they're trying to force themselves into a system designed for a different type of mind, instead of creating a system designed for their mind. Here's what Alex wants every student to understand. Your struggles in school don't define your intelligence. Your grades don't predict your future success. Your ability to memorize information doesn't determine your worth or potential. What matters is this. Are you willing to stop playing by rules that don't work for you and start creating systems that do? Alex's 3-step system is simple but revolutionary. Step 1. Identify your learning style. Stop trying to learn like everyone else. Spend 1 week experimenting with different methods: visual mapping, audio recording, teaching others hands-on projects. Find what makes concepts click for you. Step 2. Build your custom system. Once you know how you learn best, build everything around that. Create your study schedule, your note-taking method, your exam prep strategy, all customized to how your brain works. Step 3. Teach to learn. The fastest way to master anything is to teach it. Start explaining concepts to friends. Create study videos. Write blog posts. When you can teach something clearly, you've truly mastered it. But here's the most important part. Alex discovered that the students who transformed their results the fastest weren't the ones with the highest GPAs or the best test scores. They were the ones who stopped believing that their current performance defined their potential. They were the ones who realized that every successful person was once exactly where they are now, struggling, doubting, wondering if they have what it takes. The difference? They decided to find a better way instead of accepting failure as permanent. Here's what I want you to do right now. Take out your phone and answer these 3 questions. What's one subject you've been struggling with that you're going to approach completely differently starting tomorrow? What's one study method you've never tried that you're going to experiment with this week? What's one concept you're going to try teaching to someone else to test your understanding? Write these down. Not later. Right now. Because here's the truth that most students never realize. Your education isn't happening to you. It's happening because of you. You're not a passive recipient of information. You're the architect of your own learning experience. Every exam you failed, every class you've struggled with, every moment you felt not smart enough, those weren't verdicts on your potential. They were data points helping you discover what doesn't work so you can find what does. Alex Chen proved that there's no such thing as academic hopelessness. There are only students who haven't discovered their optimal learning system yet. Will you be one of them? Will you keep trying to fit into a system that wasn't designed for your mind? Will you keep believing that your current struggles predict your future success? Or will you do what Alex did? Will you reject the limitations others have placed on you? Will you create your own path to success? Because I promise you this. If a student with a 1.8 GPA can transform into an educational innovator making millions while helping thousands of other students succeed, then whatever academic goal you have isn't just possible. It's inevitable if you make the right choice. The choice to stop accepting other people's definitions of your potential. The choice to find your own way instead of forcing yourself down paths that don't fit. The choice to become the architect of your own educational success. Your transformation doesn't start when you get better grades. It doesn't start when you understand difficult concepts. It doesn't start when teachers finally recognize your potential. Your transformation starts the moment you decide that your current results don't define your future possibilities. That moment can be right now. What are you going to choose?